Hey gamers, Mango here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Razer Viper V2 Pro. Is this a worthy successor to the original Razer Viper Ultimate? Is it worth the $150 that Razer is asking for? What's it like in-game? All these questions answered and more. So hit the like button, subscribe button, and let's dive right into it. Starting off with some specs of this mouse. It comes with Razer's latest Focus Pro 30K sensor, which is basically a PAW 3950, leagues ahead of all the other wireless gaming mice tech. It comes with Razer's latest V3 optical switches, which feel as good as any clicky mechanical switch, and it comes in at 59 or 58 grams, which is 16 grams lighter than the original mouse. So with that being said, let's do a quick unboxing of this mouse. The unboxing experience for the V2 Pro is on point. You have the mouse on top, ooh, satisfying peel, a wireless dongle, and in the box is a USB-C paracorded cable and some grip tape. With the unboxing out of the way, let's now go to the boardsy cam and talk about the build quality of this mouse. Oh, and I also want to quickly mention there will be links to everything down below. For a 59-gram mouse, Razer has done an excellent job in making this structurally sound. I'm going to press the sides as hard as I can, and there's barely any flex or creaking. The bottom is the same. I'm pressing down as hard as I can. There's, again, very little flex or creaking for that matter. So overall, very impressed with the build of this mouse. Let's now talk texture. The original Viper Ultimate had rubber side grips, which were very nice and grippy, and it had a smooth plastic top. Now, the new V2 eliminates the rubber side grips altogether and gives the mouse a chalky-ish texture that's the same as the Razer Orochi. It's very nice and grippy in the hand, but it does pick up a lot more skin cells and oil. With that out of the way, let's now hear what the V3 optical switches sound like. Let's now change gears and talk about the stock feet experience on the V2 Pro. As you can see, the design has been updated over the original Viper Ultimate, and it's one that I definitely welcome, as the glide of the V2 Pro is better than the Viper Ultimate. Furthermore, these stock feet basically feel like core pads, so overall, I'm very happy with the stock feet experience on this mouse. The V2 Pro is shaping up to be a pretty solid mouse, but the question remains, is it worth the $150 that Razer's asking? Before I answer that question, let's go see how I performed with this mouse in Aimlabs, Valorant, CSGO, and Apex Legends. And don't worry, I'll keep it entertaining. Aimlabs is such a great tool for people who want to get better at esports. Anyways, this is my attempt at grid shot. I did barely any warming up, and surprisingly, I was able to hit 79K right off the bat. So I'm pretty confident if I stuck with this mouse, I'd be able to beat my highest record, which is 85K. With that being said, let's watch my Valorant gameplay and I'll let it do the talking for me.
Spike down Spike planted. One enemy remaining.
Not too shabby if I do say so myself. Okay, here's my CSGO and Apex Legends gameplay. The main takeaway is in esports related titles, you're gonna have a fantastic time with the V2 Pro. It's definitely a very well built mouse and it feels like an extension of yourself. Let's now compare the V2 Pro to the Logitech G Pro Wireless and the Pulsar Xlite. As you can clearly see here, the V2 Pro is a far lower profile than the G Pro Wireless and the Pulsar Xlite wireless mice. These two mice definitely feel like they're covering more of the palm of your hand when resting your hand upon them. Whereas the V2 Pro feels like you gotta really intend your hand to be on the palm side of the mouse when using it. It's definitely feeling like a mouse that's meant for individuals who like to fingertip or claw grip their mice. So with that, let's now do a top-down shot and compare the V2 Pro to the Viper Ultimate. As you can see, the V2 Pro has a little LED indicator on the top that's not present on the Viper Ultimate. The Viper Ultimate has V2 optical switches, whereas this has V3. The rubberized coating on the sides and the smooth plastic on the top is not present on the V2 Pro, and it's just a chalkier texture on the whole mouse. The next really important difference is that there were right side buttons on the Viper Ultimate that are now omitted from the V2 Pro, which is a shame. Underneath the mouse, you can see that the feet are different, as mentioned earlier, and the optical sensors are different, 30K DPI sensor versus a 20K sensor. The next really important change is these little dots on the bottom, which were meant for a magnetic charging dot. Those are omitted from the V2 Pro. The V2 Pro also has USB-C charging, whereas the Viper Ultimate has micro USB. And the last but not least is this is 59 grams and this is 16 more grams at around 78-ish grams. And with that, let's now discuss the price difference between the two on the green screen. Is the V2 Pro worth $150 Razer is asking for? Well, the answer is yes and no. Let's start off with why it's not. As you can see behind me, the Viper Ultimate is currently going for $80. And at that price point, it is the best bang for buck gaming wireless mouse you can get on the market, hands down in 2022. I'm not even joking. It has a lot of features and it's very much worth it for 95% of y'all. Now, what about the other 5% of y'all? That's who I think this mouse is catered towards. Those who are either gaming mice enthusiasts who want the next best thing, or your amateur / pro esports players looking for that next extension of yourself in game. Hell, even some of the CSGO players in the PGL Major are actually using the V2 Pro right now. With that being said, it's an amazing mouse, and if you do buy it, you will enjoy it. And know this, Razer's pricing is such that in a couple of months from now, I wouldn't be surprised to see the price of this mouse also reduce a little bit, maybe 5, even 10%. So with that being said, only 1% of y'all are subscribed. So if you enjoyed the content, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Deuces.